Everyone, I'm really excited to be here with you all for your leadership training. And leadership is such a very broad subject. Raise your hand if you identify yourself to be a leader. Well, guess what? Leadership is key, but so is teamwork. Raise your hand if you would consider yourself a really good team player. Work well with others. Very good. Well, I want to tell you about the three little pigs. A story about the three little pigs and the big bad wolf. Have we heard that story before? Yes. Oh yeah, grew up hearing it. But guess what? I don't want to be the only one up front doing all the reading and all the talking. So will you all help me out? Yeah. Wonderful. So if you take a look on our whiteboard to my right and to your left, there's two key parts. So those to my right, when I point to you, that's starting all the way to the end, all the way up to my soror here. When I point, you're going to read what you see in red. Little pig, let me in, let me in. Let's practice. Little pig, let me in, let me in. Such great storytellers. So then those to my left, starting all the way here at the end, bringing ourselves all the way around to the middle where we see, yes, my mother. You all will read what we see in blue. So when I point, you'll say, I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down. So we all have our parts. Are we ready? Yes. Wonderful. The story of the three little pigs. Once upon a time, there was an old mother pig who had three little pigs and not enough food to feed them. So when they were old enough, she sent them out into the world to seek their fortunes. The first little pig was very lazy. He didn't want to work at all, and he built his house out of straw. Everyone say straw. Straw. The second little pig worked a little bit harder, but he was somewhat lazy too, and he built his house out of sticks. Everyone say sticks. Sticks. Then they sang and danced and played together the rest of the day. The third little pig worked hard all day and built his house with bricks. Everyone say bricks. Bricks. It was a sturdy house, complete with a fine fireplace and chimney. It looked like it could withstand the strongest winds. The next day, a wolf happened to pass by the lane where the three little pigs lived, and he saw the straw house, and he smelled the pig inside. He thought the pig would make a mighty fine meal, and his mouth began to water. So he knocked on the door and said, Little pig, let me in, let me in. But the little pig saw the wolf's big paws through the keyhole, so he answered back, No, 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 not by the hairs on my chinny chin chin. Then the wolf showed his teeth and said, I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down. So he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house down. The wolf opened his jaws very wide and bit down as hard as he could. But the first little pig escaped and ran away to hide with the second little pig. The wolf continued down the lane and he passed by the second house made of sticks. And he saw the house and he smelled the pigs inside. And his mouth began to water as he thought about the fine dinner they would make. So he knocked on the door and said, Little pig, let me in, let me in. But the little pig saw the wolf's pointy ears through the keyhole, so they answered back, No, 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 not by the hairs on our chinny chin chin. So the wolf showed his teeth and said, I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down. So he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house down. The wolf was greedy and he tried to catch both pigs at once, but he was too greedy and got neither. His big jaws clamped down on nothing but air, and the two little pigs scrambled away as fast as their little hooves would carry them. The wolf chased them down the lane. He almost caught them, but they made it to the brick house and slammed the door closed before the wolf could catch them. The three little pigs, they were very frightened. They knew the wolf wanted to eat them, and that was very, very true. The wolf had eaten all day, and he had worked up a large appetite chasing the pigs around. And now he could smell all three of them inside, and he knew that the three little pigs would make a lovely feast. So the wolf knocked on the door and said, Little pig, let me in, let me in. But the little pigs saw the wolf's narrow eyes through the keyhole, so they answered back, No, 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 not by the hairs on our chinny chin chin. So the wolf showed his teeth and said, well, he huffed, and he puffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, and he huffed, and he puffed, but he could not blow the house down. At last he was so out of breath that he couldn't huff and he couldn't puff anymore. So he stopped to rest and thought a bit. But this was too much. The wolf danced about with rage and swore he would come down the chimney and eat up the little pig for his supper. But while he was climbing on to the roof of the little pigs, they made up a blazing fire and they put on a big pot full of water to boil. Then just as the wolf was coming down the chimney, the little piggy off with the lid and plump, in fell the wolf into the scalding water. So the little piggy put on the cover again, boiled the wolf up, and the 3 little pigs ate him for supper. If you enjoyed that, go ahead and put your hands together for me. Nothing like reminiscing back to our childhood. But believe it or not, there's a lot of hidden messages and lessons that we can learn from this story, The 3 Little Pigs. And so I want us to highlight some of those very key points that apply to us as leaders and that applies to us as team members. So I think about these 3 pigs. These 3 pigs really wanted to work independently, and they were relying on their own knowledge and their own skill set. By show of hands, and you can be honest, have you sometimes wanted to work alone opposed to working with a team or a group? Yeah, we see that with the 3 little pigs. But the 3 pigs discovered their strength as a unit, and they achieved success by working together. When something didn't go right with pig number 1 joined pig number 2. When it didn't work for pig 1 and 2, then they joined pig number 3. How many of you know that there's really power and strength in numbers? Yeah, pig 1 and 2 thought they had all the answers, but did they? No, not at all. However, when the 3 pigs get together and the story continues, we see that as a team, they can troubleshoot and come up with ideas that they didn't think of on their own. And it's like that. Sometimes through trial and error, we learn from our mistakes, we get with others, we share our experiences, and we come up with some really new, creative, and innovative ideas. What was the creative and innovative idea that the 3 pigs came up with when they united together? They boiled that pot of water, and who was that water for? The wolf. But now, if my memory serves me right, who was supposed to be eating who? The wolf had planned on eating the pigs, but the pigs came together, came up with an innovative idea that the wolf least expected. So we learned from the 3 pigs that you can't be afraid. You have to be a risk taker. That's really important in leadership. It's important as working together in teams. If you're looking to have different outcomes and results, you got to do something different. And so we saw that in our story. But let's not forget about this wolf. Everyone say wolf. Wolf. Yeah, y'all know some wolves. You might be one. I don't know. I haven't worked with each of you on a team before, so I'm not for sure. But we know in this story, the wolf had a set agenda. He had not really prepared for the unexpected. He thought that he had all the answers and all the ideas. They began and they ended with him. Do we have anyone in the room like that? Don't raise your hand. Don't raise your hand. So the wolf is the one in our team meetings who may be the naysayer. Everyone say, I'm sure you're visualizing someone, perhaps yourself. Our naysayers are sometimes the devil's advocate. Say devil's advocate. Yeah, that's the one in the room. It might be the leader. It might be the team member who really doesn't get on board with change. It's someone who's set in their way. They're not adaptable. They're not flexible. They're not tolerant of change. And these are all characteristics and traits that work in opposition of what it really means to not just lead, but to be a member within a team. We'll never be creative and innovative in how we do things differently if we keep listening to the devil's advocate or the naysayer. So we have to put our hands up and say, hold on, wait a minute, okay? So if you take a look, you have this in your own handouts, but just the very key points for us is that we have to appreciate the individualism in each person as a member of the larger team. These 3 pigs, they meant no harm. They were all different in their own right. but you still have to be able to appreciate that diversity. You have to accept the very differences that are in opposition of your own viewpoints. Again, one thought straw would work, another thought brick. Who's to say it couldn't have worked? But we have to be prepared, again, to embrace those things that are a little bit different from what we would have considered to be the right way. And then we have to make room for those who seek to contribute to a task or a goal. Now, I'll tell you, it doesn't mean just because you have the desire to contribute to a team, project, or goal, it doesn't mean you always need to. So what do I mean by that? Think for a minute. What type of leader are you? What type of team member are you? Just think about it. You one of those 3 little pigs? Open, tolerant, cute. I like that one. Or are you that devil's advocate, that big bad wolf that no matter what people say, you just don't want to be flexible. You don't want to adapt to change. Well, you have to know who's in the room. So I have for you a book, and I've highlighted that book in your handout that I've been introduced to. It's titled The 10 Faces of Innovation. It's written by Tom Kelly. I encourage you, if you're into creativity and innovation, whether it's as a church group or your professional careers, I encourage you to read it. It tells us who's at the table, or at least who we want to invite to the table. We can't all be the same. We get the same people, you have no new ideas, no creativity, no innovation. So we have these personas, these faces or roles that we take on. You need people who are considered the learners. We need people who are the organizers, and we need people who are the builders. And within each of those categories, we break it down even more into what Tom Kelly refers to as the 10 faces. So we have our anthropologist, we have our experimenter, our cross-pollinator, and these are all individuals that don't mind going outside of the team or organization to learn something new and to bring those insights back to the team so that the focus isn't so internal without regard to what's happening around you. We have those that are our organizers, the hurdler, the collaborator, the director, the people who know the ins and outs of how to get ideas moving and flowing. Of course, with consideration to time, consideration to process and resources and allocation of those resources. And then we have our builders. Those are a combination of our learners and our organizers. You often find them at the center of the action. They're the ones that are able to inspire change amongst those that they lead. They're the ones who are able to create an atmosphere that embraces and accepts the differences that we all possess. They're the ones who can do like me and give a good story and hopefully push people to want to be reflective practitioners and change. So that's what I'm asking each of you to do as reflective practitioners as we bring this to a close. You have in your own ownership the handouts of the 10 personas. I want you to read through those descriptions, and I want you to find the ones that relate to who you are in your personal life, as well as who you are in your professional life. Is it the same face? Is it the same persona, or does it change based on the role in the environment that you're in? And then as you think about the persona that best relates to you, and maybe more than one, think of how that can serve as a strength to your leadership and your ability to work as a team member. So again, these are all provided for you. Thank you for your time and attention, and take care.